O ke aloha, ke kuleana o kaki malahini. Love is the host in this land. He pilikane kakao pahu mahavaine. Here in Hawaii, we're all family. Aloha komomai, welcome with love. It's such an honor to be here. My name is Reverend Gary Kanye, and I'm married to Nick's brother-in-law, Owen Housen, who's there operating the live stream. Aloha, everyone on live stream. We know Nichols there, and there's many others, and we're blessed by that. Here we sit in the beautiful Maunawili Valley, here at the foot of the Ko'olau Mountains, and I'm just so grateful for this beautiful spot on this Sunday, July 28, 2019. We honor in a loving tribute, a memorial for our Major Allen Gaither Nichols Jr. Nick was a beloved husband, father, soldier, grandfather, brother, brother-in-law, neighbor, friend, storyteller, and pilot. And we have a very special tribute. Here's a video of Nick doing what he loved and sharing what he loved, Hawaiʻi. Nick invited his brother-in-law Owen to accompany him on one of his regular flights on Royal Hawaiian Airlines. Here, May 16th, 1986.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day.
Good morning, Owen.
Good morning.
Today we're going to have a great adventure. Well, we're scheduled right now to fly from Honolulu to Kahului, which is in the middle of Maui, then on to Kamuela, which is on the Parker Ranch on the Big Island, and then from there down to the Keahole Airport at Kailua Kona. So that flight will take us about an hour and 45 minutes.
The sandwich won't fit in the sandwich box. What do? You see, I'm not used to making him lunch.
Well, if you turn it around,
Well, I tried that and it still doesn't fit.
the long way,
It still doesn't fit. Look.
then you just help it.
And you squish it.
Which one does engineering design. The sandwich box was made before they came up with these fat loaves of bread.
All right, the one that is cut is the one with jelly, and the one that is not cut is the one without jelly.
Okay, why don't you put a piece of, okay, that's fine.
You want a piece of tape on?
That makes it easy to find.
Honey, I'm too sleepy to decipher this code, so you put tape on whichever you want.
Decisions.
This is all part of the pre-flight, you know.
Pre-flighting your friendly flight crew.
So how does the code work?
Put the tape on yours.
Uh-huh.
There we are.
He gets the jelly and the one that's cut. Okay, and that's Owen's.
There you go. Ta-da.
May 16th, 1986, 5:52 a.m.
There you go. Well, that means it's very close to time to leave.
Uh-huh.
And we'll park at the hangar, go in and examine the aircraft maintenance records, and see what discrepancies have been delayed, which ones have been recent, and what the previous pilots have to say about the airplane. Then we'll go out and we'll check it ourselves. We'll get into the airplane. I'll set up the cockpit and then start the outside walk around. And then back into the airplane, start the engines, taxi out, do our engine run-up. And it's the time that we check the radios and the different systems in the airplane. And when I'm satisfied that it's safe to fly, well, then we taxi over to the commuter air terminal at Honolulu International Airport.
Okay, 40, come on. Mr. Housen.
Yes.
Hey, right outside.
You come on now, take the right-hand front seat. Okay, all the way up to the right. Watch your head. And just take this seat right here by the door for George. Okay. Okay. Just use the forward seat.
The primary exit is the door we just came in. Number 2, there's a rectangular hatch over here on the right by the second seat. That pushes out and you go out over the wing. And number 3, by my left shoulder. The fire extinguisher is under the co-pilot's chair. It's just behind your feet here on the floor. And directions for all this is listed right here on your little card. So that makes you the fire marshal. So you want to know how to work the fire extinguisher, right?
Gotcha.
And you want to know how to open that hatch there. And George, you want to know how to open that hatch to your left. Once you all know all this, well, I'll feel much better knowing that you'll take good care of me if we have any difficulties, you see. There's motive in my madness. We'll be going from here to Lanai, which is about a 25-minute flight, and then on down to the Big Island at the Keahole Airport at Kailua Kona. Okay, incidentally, if you like your own personal air conditioner, you have it in your hand. Just flick your wrist like this and it comes right on. If you look off here to the left, just the left of our nose, you can see the western end of the friendly isle of Molokai. We passed a lot of information, pilot to pilot, and whatever we observe, we also give to the Flight Service Center, and they pass it on to the weather people and put it on the wire so that everybody knows what's happening. This island was purchased almost in its entirety back in the 1920s by the Dole Company. And they started a pineapple plantation here that grew over the years until it was the largest pineapple plantation in the world. A little over 16,000 acres of it. The pineapple is grown here on Lanai and it's shipped by barge, towed by tugboat over to Honolulu. And that's where the pineapples are graded and processed for distribution around the world. There's also a fella that sings songs and so forth named Kenny Rogers. You might have heard of him. He comes over a lot. He has his airplane too. I had Kenny Rogers and his entourage several years ago coming out of Hana. They chartered the airplane and went up to Honolulu. And I've only had one flat tire in 10 years. I happened to have it when he was aboard. The nose wheel went flat when I set it on the ground. Why, it just, you could feel it, you know. So we tacked it off, and make a long story short, why, he helped me unload the airplane. You know, so I've had Kenny Rogers as my bank boy. Well, it is time to recheck your seatbelts now before we land here at Lanai. Well, you can see after all this pineapple that it's your patriotic duty to eat pineapple not less than twice a day for the rest of your life now, right? Okay, for the folks who'll be leaving us here at Lanai, I'd like to thank you for flying with us again. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll have your checked things ready for pickup and baggage claim in just a minute or two. A word of caution. Remember, the rush hour is still on, so drive defensively on the freeway up here, okay?
1254, Kona Tower, taxi to runway 17.
We're on our way, folks. It is time now to check around your seats, gather up all your goodies so you don't leave anything on the airplane. We'll have your checked things ready for pickup and baggage claim in just a couple of minutes. And I do hope that you've enjoyed the flight with Royal Hawaiian today. Drive defensively, and that way you'll have a chance, at least a fighting chance, of coming back to fly with us again. So thank you.
I believe I can fly.
I love Nick. Oh, his humor is beautiful. Well, just before moving to Texas last October, Owen and I came over and we had the most wonderful visit with Nick. And it was during that visit that he shared that the 23rd Psalm was his favorite Bible passage. And he spoke it with such passion, it touched my heart. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside still water. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. For surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall live in the house of the Lord forever. We are gathered here to reaffirm our faith that life is eternal. As we bless this loved one, Nick Nichols, on his way into this next experience in living. It is our prayer that from this time forward, we may never think of Nick as limited by time or form, but always a living soul, continuing on the pathway of life, ever in God's wise and loving care. One of the greatest challenges that all of us meet is the challenge, indeed the most mysterious of all challenges, that we call death. We all seek to know, to understand this unparalleled event. We want to know the secret of death. There is deep wisdom in the people of this land, this Aina. Simply stated, our ancestors, all the people who have come before us, are our foundation. We have been blessed by these lives, and they are part of who we have become. In this Hawaiian chant, the ancestors are honored as part of the now, part of the whole. Pono is the Hawaiian word for excellent, righteous, right, excellent. Na kapuna are the elders and the ancestors. In and of spirit, our ancestors are always with us. Their passing from physical to spirit is a normal return to reality. It is accepted that all life, all creation begins in spirit and in thought. Their passing is simply a change of address. And communication with our ancestors is through thoughts rather than phones, letters, or computers. This chant, Kalealoha I na kapuna, translated means, in the circle of love are the ancestors, and I am of this love. I dwell in the moment, and my moments are pono. I am so grateful for all the blessings that surround me. In the circle of love are the ancestors, and I am of this love. In honor of Na Kapuna, this chant is named. Kalealoha I na kupuna. Kalealoha I na kupuna. Amen o manava ikiko upono. Amen o manava ikiko upono. Mahalo nui no pomai kaeneao. Mahalo nui no pomai kaeneao. Kalealoha I na kupuna. Kalealoha I na kupuna. He no no na kapuna. And now we have a special presentation created from hundreds of slides, a celebration of Alan Papa Nick Nichols, created by Nick's granddaughter, Maggie L. Reams. Enjoy.
a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again, shaboom, and hoping we'll meet again. Oh, life could be a dream if only all my precious plans would come true. If you would let me spend my whole life loving you, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Now every time I look at you, something is on my mind. If you do what I want you to, baby, we'd be so far. Oh, life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Shaboom, shaboom, ya la 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 la, shaboom, shaboom, ya la 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 la, shaboom, shaboom, ya la 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 la, shaboom, 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 ya la 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 la, shaboom, shaboom, ya la 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 la, shaboom, shaboom, ya la 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 la, shaboom. Every time I look at you, something is on my mind. If you do what I want you to, baby, we'd be so far. Life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again, shaboom, and hoping we'll meet again, boom, shaboom. Hey, la, dee, ding, dong, la, lang, la, lang, la, lang, shaboom, ba, do, ba, do, ba, do, ba, ba. Life could be a dream, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream if only all my precious plans would come true. If you would let me spend my whole life loving you, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Do you shaboom shaboom? Do you shaboom shaboom? Do you shaboom shaboom? Sweetheart.
Happy Easter.
Baby. Right behind you. Pistachio.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yes, may I do that? I think there's only thing that Nick loved more than pistachios, and that was people. He loved his family. He loves his friends. He loved people at the pharmacy. He loved people on the corner. He loved people who were driving by. And he was always smiling, and he went out smiling. So, 2 more scripture readings. Exodus 23:20. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and bring thee into the place which I have prepared. And from John 14:27. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, I give it unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Major Alan Gaither Nichols, Jr., born February 25th, 1928, died July 13th, 2019. His mother was Dorothy Dennis Osterman. Father, Alan Gaither Nichols. Nick grew up in the midst of the Depression in Gaithersburg, Maryland, the town named for his family. His family arrived there in the 1700s. Nick's father graduated from Pensacola Navy flight training and flew biplanes in World War I. Unfortunately, both of his parents struggled with alcoholism throughout their adult lives. His mom died of meningitis when Nick was 13, and for short periods of time, Alan and his brother stayed with his mom's sisters, Aunt Molly, Aunt Pet, and Aunt Emmy. After this, Nick and his brother Gene were primarily raised by their grandmother Nichols. Now, Grandmother Nichols was a tough lady. She left her alcoholic husband and with 2 boys in tow, settled in the Washington, D.C. area. Unemployed, she applied for a job at the Smithsonian Institute at the Bureau of Ethnicity Department of Indian Affairs. The job interview include a typing test, typing a dictation. The interviewer dictated the preamble to the Constitution. Grandmother Nichols wasn't the fastest typist, but she knew the preamble by heart, and she got the job. She worked at the Smithsonian for over 40 years. It was the family lifeline, and Nick often spoke of the Smithsonian with fond affection and admiration. As we know from spending time with Nick, he had an amazing memory, just like his grandmother. Nick's first job was as a paperboy delivering the Saturday Evening Post. He was then a courier for the Treasury Department. At 17, Nick joined the Navy, and as he served as a sailor on the USS Midway and the USS FDR, affectionately known as filthy, dirty, and rusty by its crew. They cruised in the Mediterranean, and he sent his paychecks home to support his grandmother, and he helped put his brother Gene through school. Nick was accepted into Naval Aviation Offer Candidate School in Pensacola and then flew VT-6 after receiving his wings. He was a flight instructor in Milton, Florida at Whiting Field. Then he flew with the fighter squadron VF-21. He and the only other bachelor in the squadron, Walt Colby, attended an obligatory company party, which was where he saw a gal doing the monkey. Quite a dance. The gal was his soon-to-be wife, Linda Nichols. He finally got the hit when Lynn said, "Well, I'm ready to get married anytime you are." Their first child, Mary Ann, was born while stationed at Whiting Field in Florida. They lived at Magna Village. In 1967, Nick flew with Transport Squadron 352 out of El Toro, California. He flew KC-130 aerial refueling tanker planes in Vietnam. When the twins, Melanie and Margaret, were born, Marianne was 2 years old and Mom was outnumbered. Lynn moved down the street from her parents in Piedmont, California, while Nick was deployed in Vietnam. When Nick had to spend times overseas, Lynn's brother Owen, who had connections with the North Pole, arranged for Santa to be featured in a Super 8 home movie of the family that year. When Nick returned from Vietnam, the family was transferred to El Toro, California, to Camp Smith, Oahu, Hawaii. When Nick retired after 26 years of military service, Lynn and Nick decided Hawaii would be a great place to raise their children, and they were right. Nick flew for a number of the commuter airlines within the Hawaiian Islands, and his favorite job was flying for Royal Hawaiian Fly Service, Air Service. We've come to a moment where a few family members are going to share memorable moments with Nick, and after these sharings, anyone else is welcome to share the memory of Nick. I want to share one of my treasured memories is how Nick loved to wear his t-shirts until they wouldn't hang on him anymore, much to Lynn's disgust. And in retaliation, Lynn would take a permanent marker and draw a circle around the hole in the t-shirt with an arrow saying hole. Or if there was a stain, a circle around the stain and it would say stain. And he prized these t-shirts even more and never would wear the new ones. It was always wear the t-shirts that were tattooed with the markings of success of a comfortable t-shirt. And also, I'll always remember Nick in red suspenders. When I see red, I see Nick. And he's right here in my heart, and I love him dearly. Thank you.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Rich. I'm Nick's son-in-law. I just wrote down a few things to say. So Papa Nick did not have the easiest of lives as a child or as an adult, as you heard, but he rose above the hand life dealt him and lived his life unencumbered, without regret, defeat, or any outward sign of resentment, but with grace, honor, and an unwavering devotion to his family, his friends, his flying, and his country. During the 28 years that I've known him, I've never once heard him say a disparaging remark about anyone he knew personally, ever. Pretty amazing, of course, excluding an occasional comment about selected elected officials of the Democratic Party. If you've known him, you know that. I've never met a man with such an even temper. Honestly, I can't remember him ever raising his voice, ever. I still don't know what that would sound like. Amazingly, I'll never know. I really loved his appreciation for simple pleasures in life. Sharing food was a particular joy in his life. Whenever we would suggest any type of culinary treat, ahi sashimi, steaks, his coveted RB roast beef sandwiches smothered with horsey sauce, he, without hesitation and a twinkle in his eye, would reply a hearty yes. Even at 87 years of age, he was quick to jump on a flight to Connecticut to come help hold down Fort Antea when Mary and I had to accompany our daughter Nicole for her lung transplant surgery in North Carolina. He took over 3 teens, a cat, and a dog. He should have received hazardous duty pay, which I do not believe he ever received. His last hours in Connecticut were punctuated by terror after a call that his beloved daughter Margaret was in the ICU and her death was imminent. We rushed him, Mary, Maggie, and Alan back to Hawaii as quick as we could. Probably one of the greatest joys of his life occurred when not only did Margaret pull through, but broke her drug addiction and remains clean and sober to this day. Prayers, his and ours, were answered. In-law jokes abound, but not here. There really is no material. I could not have asked for a better father-in-law. He never forced his opinion on me or criticized my actions, and even though I took his eldest daughter far, far away from the rest of the family, he never complained or held a grudge. He did suggest that I get a job on Oahu, and I'm continuing to look for that job in case anybody's... So finally, I am so incredibly thankful to Melanie for her sacrifice that she made, not only caring for Maggie and Alan in their childhood, for Mimi when she was sick, for Margaret during her illness, but for her grand finale, taking care of Papa during his last years. She made him comfortable, answered every whim request, and returned the unconditional love he bestowed on her and all of us for so many years. Melanie, you have embodied Papa's love and caring. It is his legacy, and you could not have given him a better present or compliment than how you toiled by his side day and night until his final flight west. He certainly is looking down on you with loving eyes. God bless you, Al, Papa Nick, Papa, we love you. Thank you for all you did and for setting an example for all of us to follow. Semper Fi, aloha, and mahalo nui loa.
Margaret and I would like to read for you the poem by John Gillespie McGee, High Flight.
Oh, I have slipped, sorry. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of, wheeled and soared and swung.
High in the sunlit silence, hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through the footless halls of air. Up the long delirious burning blue, I've topped the wind-swept heights with easy grace, where never lark or even eagle flew. And while with silent, uplifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God. Jack Detour. Okay. Okay. Our friend Annie. Okay. Hi, Jack.
Come on. Okay.
Good. Because our friend Annie wrote something that was really nice and just put everything like in a nutshell. So I'm going to read it to you guys. Okay. She said, he served his country as a naval officer and a Marine and as a totally badass fighter pilot. You would never guess this was the case if you, number one, knew him for 5 minutes, as he was incredibly soft-spoken and humble. Or number two, if you were ever a passenger in his car, as he drove at or below the speed limit at all times. And cruise control was his favorite thing. He would kindly remind us, hey, you know, cruise control is a good thing. This gentleman and a gentleman served his country honorably and with pride. For me, meaning Annie Brosnan, and anyone who knew him, his true legacy was love. Annie knew Papa since she was 5 years old, and her BFFs, which were me, Melanie, and my twin sister Margaret. He had been there for every memorable and not so memorable events. No matter what kind of stupid we were being or doing, he chose to love us through it. And those words right there is exactly how he did it. He loved us through it. He taught us different ways to communicate, different ways to teach. He taught us how to have empathy for other people. And he taught us patience, which was an incredible gift. He never judged anybody, ever. He loved everyone. And he made sure that he kept us on track with that line of thinking. The service he will be best remembered for is his service to those of us who are lucky enough to be considered family. He loved us through it all, and he left us, and truly the world, a better, kinder place. Rest in peace, as he will indeed do, and there will be no doubt that he is in a place
of everlasting love and comfort befitting of a man of honor that he was and is. He taught us just by example of who he was and how he loved everyone. He taught us how to be the best person we could possibly be. Always gave us hugs every day. Put us to sleep with back rubs every night. Massaged my mom's feet every night during the evening news for like a half hour for 50 years. And he loved doing it. He taught us how to communicate our feelings. He taught us that always tell the ones that you love what you want to say before it's too late. And we were blessed to actually have the opportunity to have some heads up of when he was coming closer to the end of his life. He actually told us that this is the time to say what you need to say, ask what you need to ask, say sorry for the things you need to say sorry for, and to reinstate your love and how much people mean to you. Jackie. He brought on so many people, like adopted them just from love. Jackie, you're one of them, you know? We grew up with her since 71 when we moved in, yeah. I just hope I can live the rest of my life honoring the values that he taught us. And I know he's happy with Mimi now. He's happy. He's flying anywhere he wants. He's dancing with Mimi. And I know he's in a good place. I know he's in a good place. And I love you, Papa, for being the most amazing father. That anyone could have. That's good. Thanks, Mary.
And Mel, Dad would be really proud of you, really, really proud. She took care of him. I would not have been able to do what she did. We have a VIP in our presence. That's he flew with Dad for many years and is a World War II hero, Colonel Jack Detour.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay. I've known Al for over 40 years, and we have been the best of friends. We first met when I retired from the Air Force, came here to Hawaii, and started flying with Royal Hawaiian Air Service. And we both were pilots for Royal Hawaiian Air Service. Most of the pilots were ex-military. I see Fred is here with us today too. He was one of them. We both were members of Quiet Birdmen, and very few people have known a birdman that was quiet. And we are not quiet. Al was a great member of, and a great supporter of both of these organizations. And I was sad to learn that Al had passed. He will be missed as a friend and as a great patriot. Al was also a super patriot for our great country, the United States of America. Amen on that. And I have, Mary, I have a folder for you. This is a folder that we call Gone West folder. And I'll read a few words to you and present it to Mary. It has a picture of Al on the left. Yeah, he's got to be turned right side up. And here are the words. Brother QB, valiant friend, go to the grace of God. Go where the ships come down to park, when day is done and night falls dark, and landing gears etch deep their mark upon eternal sod. Brother QB, valiant friend, go with a heart of peace, for though alone thy fly shall be, such journey is not strange to thee, whose years have compassed land and sea, so long without cerise. Brother QB, valiant friend, go to the eternal rest. From storms shall roll and winds shall fly, without pressure from on high. Thy trace writ large on freedom's sky, until thy course holds west. And that's what we say when a quiet birdman passes, that he has gone west. Thank you, Mary. I want to present this to you. Mary can also wear a pair of our small QB wings, and then as the ladies go down, they can wear our wings. Thank you, Mary.
I told Jack I'm going to adopt him as my earthly dad now.
Fred Farrell.
Fred Farrell?
Whoa!
Wow!
How you doing, man?
Oh my gosh. Weren't you in Tora?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. This is Fred Farrell, who also flew in Tora, the movie. I'm so honored.
What a sweet guy this fellow was, and he and I have a lot in common. Like Al, I think all he ever wanted to be was a pilot. He wanted to be an aviator and get up there and fly. And he was, when he was 16 or 17 years old, he was in the Navy, and he became on an aircraft carrier, and then he got an opportunity to go to flight school. He went to flight school and became a naval aviator, and a very fine naval aviator. I knew him. I honored him so much because we had the same desire. That's all I ever wanted to do, was be a fighter pilot in the Marine Corps. He went in the Navy. I don't know
why in the world he would have done something like that. But Al's just a sweet gentleman, and I'm proud to know him. I knew him as a fellow Royal Hawaiian Air Service pilot for, I guess we were together at Royal Hawaiian Air Service for about, 16, 17 years. And then also knew him as a quiet birdman for probably the same amount of time. And you heard everybody say, never heard a bad word. I never did either. And he was just a fine gentleman. I'm very proud to know him. And God bless all his people who loved him and are here to celebrate his life today. God bless you all.
So now I have two earthly dads. My dad would affectionately call me by my first and middle name, Mary Ann, so that's who I am. I'm Mary Ann Nichols Antea. We have some great memories growing up. We lived in a cul-de-sac in Monowilly, right across there, with 20 kids on the block, and we would go out and play every day. There was always someone to play with. Volleyball, kickball, roller skating, biking. One of our favorite toys was called the inner tube, and it was a big black donut, a rubber donut we had in the backyard. And all the neighborhood kids would come over. We'd jump on it. It was like a trampoline. We'd be all black afterwards from the black rubber. And only years later did I look back and think, inner tube, what was that? Because I wanted to get one for my kids. So I asked Dad. Turns out it was an inner tube of an airplane tire. We had a lot of special times. In this meadow here, my mom and Dad took the Girl Scouts on hikes through the meadow and across the stream that runs at the base of Olamana and into the mysterious and famed bamboo forest. We followed the trail and made our way through the grass that was taller than we were and played in the river. And it was simple times like these that meant the most to us. And when Dad would pack us on his bike and the little red plaid child seat bolted to the frame of his bike, and away we'd go. A quick story about Dad's integrity. One time at a phone booth, a whole bunch of dimes kept pouring out all over the place. He put every single dime back. I don't know if I would have been that honest. Dad had an insatiable intellectual curiosity. He could converse on any topic and tell you something about almost any subject, except perhaps the Goo Goo Dolls or Lady Gaga or Tupac or Snoop Dogg. But he loved Snoopy, the dog. Loved Snoopy, as Annie Graham can attest to. He visited us on the mainland wherever we moved, and all my girlfriends adored him. All the folks in town knew him. I was at the drive-thru of the pharmacy one day, and a fellow says, "Hey, how's your dad?" I'm like, "Wow, he's great. Thanks for asking." So thinking about the words that describe Dad, patient and kind are the first two, and that made me think of Corinthians that you always hear at weddings: patient, kind, on and on, not rude, not selfish, and he really embodied all of that. He also had an amazing memory for dates and times and people. And first, a quick backstory. when Dad would meet somebody with a familiar last name, somebody that he flew with, he would always ask if they happened to be related to Lieutenant so-and-so, a Navy flyer. So this happened again recently on base here at Kaneohe. Dad asked one of the civilian employees, upon seeing her last name on her badge, if anyone in her family flew for the Navy, because he flew with a Captain D'Amato years ago. And the lady responded in shock, yes. And Dad said, John D'Amato? She said, yes, that's my dad. And John D'Amato was killed in action in Vietnam, rescuing some of his comrades. As an aside, the Navy makes a smaller set of gold wings for their officers to give someone special. And so fast forward to the present, Captain D'Amato, who was killed in action, has 4 children. His daughter Jennifer and her sister are here with us today. So standing in for our dad, our family would like to give your family, Jennifer, a pair of these wings in honor of your dad.
Is there anyone else who'd like to share?
I'm Owen House, and I'm Nick's brother-in-law. I met Nick when Lynn and Nick got married in Pensacola in 1962 or 63, and I wanted to know who this guy was who was going to carry off my sister, and I got to know him and thought, wow, she really scored. I fell in love with Nick the moment I met him, and knowing him for all of these years, everything that I've known about him makes true every word that's been said. He's my hero. Well, give you an example. This shirt that I'm wearing was his shirt. It was his favorite shirt. He used to wear it all the time when he wasn't wearing a uniform. And after he retired, he kind of grew out of it and gave it to me, and it's my favorite shirt. And every time I wear it, I think of Nick. You know, I read a lot about things like unconditional love. And, you know, it's easy to say those words, but what in the world does that mean? And Nick lived unconditional love. When my sister Lynn became an alcoholic, he was there for her. When she got sober, he was there for her. When I became an alcoholic, he was there for me. When I got sober, he was there for me. When Margaret had all of her problems with drugs, he was there, never judging, never criticizing, always opening his heart with love, saying, I'm here. And yeah, unconditional love. That's my brother Nick. So long, Nick. I look forward to seeing you again.
My name is Phil Olson, and I met Al, many, many years ago. I guess she was flying with Royal at that time, and I was at the University of Hawaii flying on weekends and flying air ambulance and instructing. But I was also a full-time job at the university, and I talked with Al and said, Al, I've got an opportunity for a full-time aviation job again. I had been with an airline called Western Airlines 150 years ago. And I said, I'm really conflicted about it, and what do you think? I'm going on 55 years of age. That was a long time ago, because I'm 88 now. And I said, what do you think? Al said, do you love to fly? I said, you bet your ass. And I'm sorry, that's what I said. And he said, go for it, Phil. I did. I took a job with Alexander and Baldwin, flew all their jets, along with Jack and a bunch of other good guys. And I never regretted it. I loved that guy. He was a solid citizen, a hero, and a brave man. It's been a pleasure to know you, Al. God bless.
Hi, my name's Chico. I met Al in 1992 when I joined the QBs, Quiet Birdman. And he's just such a delightful person to be around. I mean, I enjoy going to the QBs just to talk to him. And I live on this side of the island, and I saw him more at the commissary at the Marine Corps base than I did at the QB hall. I guess both of us hang out over there a lot. But there's two things that my memories about him is he's got such a beautiful heart, and he's such a kind person. And another thing I remember about him is when I opened this flyer up, I saw the red suspenders. I saw him commissary, red suspenders, man. QB Hall, red suspenders, just great person to be around. And I'm glad I got to share some of that with him.
Any burning desire?
Hold on, did not know I was going to do this. I have been best friends with Papa's granddaughter Maggie for going on 10 years now. And I think we're best friends because of the fact we did not have it very easy growing up. We're so in common for such similar things, and it's because of that that I never felt much that I had a home here. But I had a home at that Monowui house. not a lot of people would let a very random, very loud 10-year-old girl spend 2 weeks at a time at that house because she didn't have anywhere else. And I will always remember, be indebted to him and to Mimi and to you, Auntie Mel, for letting me steal Maggie, take her as my own, and for letting me into your guys' family. Because he really was the nicest man I've ever met. I didn't have a lot of those growing up, and so it was so great to be able to go over to someone's house, no matter how hectic it was, and see how unconditionally loved they were. And I will always remember how his eyes lit up and how he said Brandy every time I came into the house. And every Halloween, and every video we made him get in with us. And I hope he knows, and I hope you guys know how grateful I am to you all and to him for letting me in. Okay, I love him, and I'm so glad he's dancing with Mimi right now.
All right. Nick loved Hawaii, and he loved hula. And we have a very special presentation of Aloha with Alicia Fasano Arroyo. Makakao?
Sweet
Let us pray. Father, Mother God, we open our hearts to your grace. We open our hearts to allow your loving, healing light to heal our sadness, restore our faith, and confirm our knowing that Nick is resting in your loving embrace. We commit to know ever deeper that we have your strength to face each day, and we're so grateful for your love that sustains us. Amen. This Hawaiian chant, grant me the knowledge from above of the secrets of wisdom of the song and the chant. Let it come, let it flow. Let it come, let it flow. Let it come, let it flow. E homa kaike mai luna mai, o na mea hunanoe o na mele. E homai, e homai, e homai, e homa kaike mai luna mai, o na mea hunanoe o na mele. E homai, e homai, e homa ki mai luna mai, o na mea hunanoe o na mele. E homai, e homai, e homai. I invite you to breathe deeply. If you feel comfortable, to close your eyes and relax and connect with the divine spark within you. As we prepare for a moment of silent meditation, let the beauty of this afternoon join with the love in this room, this circle of family and friends. Allow the warmth of the sun, the wind, the land to support you. All of our life experiences bring us to this now moment, and we now take this moment to rest in the silence. And now, as we gently return to this time and place, we bring this lovely memorial to a close. You're welcome to visit the memorial tables up here in the front. There's also some light poo-poos that are in the side room here, and there's beverages. Please help yourself. Thank you all for coming today. No ke Allah, no ke pu amalo, from this day, from this night, forevermore. Aloha e, aloha e, aloha e.
Damn your father for being too killing all of us. Oh my